Hello and welcome to Jamie's Motion Graphics. Today we're doing Kaleida, or a kaleidoscopic effect. It is going to be awesome and I'm just going to get right into it. Okay, here we are in After Effects and we are going to make a kaleidoscope effect today. Obviously, since this is the introduction to kaleidoscopic effects. Anyway, how we do that is as follows. We make something and then we just put an adjustment layer on it, put Kaleida on it, and in this case put curves on it for the color changes. And it looks something like this. So yeah, just ever-changing colors and ever-changing shapes, which can be quite cool. I just noticed that my colors are a little bit bland, but of course you can liven that up by, well, choosing different colors. And really just trying to make something beautiful. I just threw this together in like 5 minutes, so yeah, you can definitely do better if you try. And yeah, let's see how we can actually make it. So we are going to start off with a new composition. My new composition is going to be called Comp 2. It doesn't really matter. It is, well, something by something, probably 1280 by 720. And we're going to start off by making a new layer, new solid in fact. And, well, I am going to make all grays. So I'm going to start off with a light gray. So not white, because white doesn't change color when you use curves, and I'm planning to use curves. So just select a rectangle of some kind, it doesn't really matter. You can also do a sphere or whatever, but rectangles are cuter because if they rotate, they change shape, and yeah, you'll see. Anyway, just duplicate it. Control Shift Y, or just go, yeah, I'll show you in a moment because we have to make a lot. Make it a little bit darker and hit the P for position. Now, take your selection tool and just put it somewhere else. We're going to duplicate it again, Control D or Edit, Duplicate. And then, well, the same thing I just did with Control Shift Y is over here, Solid Settings, Control Shift Y. And you can change the color right there. So a little bit darker again. You can see here whether or not it is dark enough because you have to see the difference. Otherwise it's kind of useless. And just position it somewhere else. It doesn't really matter where. We're going to fill up the entire screen like 3 times. So Control Shift Y once again. Just make it a little bit lighter or darker. Sorry, we're making it darker. And then, well, just pick it up, place it somewhere else. Oh, accidentally double click there. Yeah, just if you double click, I'll show you, it opens a new tab here. You can just close it and then you'll be back. It is to single out layers, but you can also do that by well, just clicking the single thing. Well, whatever. I don't even want to explain that to you at this moment. Yeah, we're going to make a bunch of these and I'll be right back. Just place them all over the place. It doesn't really matter where they are, as long as they're somewhere. Okay, so we're all done. I have every single color that I could fit in. Well, not every single color, but I just have a bunch of grayscales. The point is not to have black and not to have white in this. So once you're done with this, just pick a few out of the middle, like this, and then just duplicate, and this one, duplicate. Just fill up the screen. It doesn't matter that you place the same color next to each other or virtually next to each other, but don't pick the things that are too dark or too light, or, well, you will kind of run into trouble later. If you're like, yeah, this doesn't look right, you can also move it to the bottom if you want to, and then maybe it looks better. I don't know. I'm going to use one of the darker ones to fill up some gaps here. Maybe move it down a little so that these shine through, but not this one. And then I have a little bit here left, and just whatever. It doesn't really matter. Don't make it too light, don't make it too dark. Just put the in-between colors in there. So now we're going to select all of these. Oh, that's not here. And we're going to pre-compose these because this is the background. Actually, yeah, I still needed them, but I didn't have the option, so I'm going to copy all of these and paste them back in here. Control C, Control V. And we're going to take all of these, so the background is going to stay stationary, it's just the background, that's all there is to it. And all of these are all over the place, so just duplicate them, so the entire thing except for the background, and just, well, move them around. So I'm going to do this very easily, well, not super easily, I mean, I guess it can be done a lot easier in other ways, but I'm going to just move them over here and then zoom out a little bit, move them around a little bit, don't even know, doesn't matter where you put them at this point, because we're going to move around with them anyway. Yeah, because there's a background under there, it doesn't matter which ones you move and where you move them, as long as they kind of look okay. I kind of don't like the fact that these dark ones are kind of clouding the entire thing. So you are going to go over here. Yeah, that's fine. So now we're going to take all of these except for the background once again. Hit the T for opacity or transparency and just set it to something like 50–60%, something around there. And then you can see you get all these different gray shades, which is excellent. But now we want to move them. So we take all of them, we hit R for rotation, and we're going to well, 0 seconds, time is 0. We're setting all of the keyframes at the same time. We go to, let's say, 20 seconds. You can make it as long as you want, obviously. We're going to set this to, let's say, 3. And then we're going to select just a few of them. Like, I have about half. And we're going to set those to 4. And then I'm going to select about a quarter. I don't even know how many these are. And we're going to set those to 5. And now we're going to just see if the rotation looks okay-ish. Well, there's a lot of rotation going on, but things like this, they're really close together and they all have the same rotation. The point is to make the rotation kind of different for everyone. So just pick these points and just drag them around. Try to keep them between 20 and 30 seconds. Because if you want to make it 20 seconds, you can't put this point in front of the 20 seconds or it will stop rotating and that will look weird. But since we're going to put a kaleidoscope effect over this, it doesn't really matter too much. So keep in mind that in the beginning we randomize the position, not the colors, but the positions, and therefore wherever you you go, the next layer will always be basically somewhere else, so not right next to it. So just as long as you you diversify this a little bit, it doesn't matter that these are close together, for example, because they're probably not going to be close together on the picture to begin with. So just drag them around. As I said, try to keep them between 20 and 30. Because if you drag them out too far, the rotation will be super slow. If you drag them out before 20, well, they will stop rotating before the animation is over. And we don't want that either. So all of the things are done. And now, yeah, well, all we need to do is hit the U on all the layers and they all collapse. And now we have just a bunch of gray layers. Nothing really special. It's just a bunch of things going on. So now we go to our effects and presets, and we type in Kaleida, well, K-A-L seems to do the trick, and we're going to make a new, select your composition, we're going to make a new, come on, adjustment layer, there it is, Control-Alt-Y apparently, but I don't want to remember that. You can immediately see the effect. So the effect is instantaneous, and because we moved all the layers, so all the layers are rotating, the effect is already changing. And that's exactly what you want. You want to have done all the work before this point because it makes it so much easier. You can do some work with the kaleidoscope itself, and I will do that in a moment. But for now, this looks fine. As you can see, lots of different gray tones. And that is exactly what we want. So what we want here is we want to hit the size, at time is 0, hit the stopwatch. And you can use all of the other ones as well. I mean, it's fairly straightforward what it all does. I'm going to use flower here but feel free to experiment with the other ones as well. I like flowers because, or not flowers, but the flower setting, because it's kind of nice to have this symmetric effect. But yeah, you can do any of the other ones. Yeah, it all works. Like here, now we have flipper. It also works. It doesn't matter. It's all about what you want to achieve with it. But hey, we're going to go for flower, as I said. And the size is currently 20. It is keyframed at ×0. If you want to see that, hit U and it will bring up this thing. So at ×20, we're going to make the size, I don't know, 30. So it's going to be a little bit bigger. Then at this point, it's going to be, I don't know, 15. You can make it as small or as big as you want. You also don't have to pick similar distances. You can just do whatever you feel like. Let's go to 10. Let's make it super small and let's bring it a little bit up here. So it's now between 10 and 15, or it's scrolling from 10 to 15. So let's put a 25 in there just to mix it up a little bit. And yeah, you can see here how that works. So if you're like, okay, I don't want these sudden changes, just control click them, and then you will have gradual changes, which is not the same, by the way, as easy ease, which is F9, because with F9 it would stop moving at each of these points, and we don't want that. So yeah, gradual changes, everything looks nice, and it actually goes through here, but you can see that not everything is moving anymore. So most of the rotations are done, and yeah, some little movement there. Anyhow, let's put the curves on there. Add in some color. If you're having trouble with understanding the curves effect, there is a tutorial, obviously. There's always a tutorial. Anyway, hit the keyframe at ×0 and set your first color. So we're going to go to red and make this a red, well, first color, which means no green, and oh, alpha doesn't matter, no blue. So this is going to be pure red for the moment, but that of course is very ugly, so we're going to put in a little bit of extra stuff. Let's, oh, that's a little bit too much. It's a little bit too bright. So let's put in a little bit of bluish. I guess we can do something like that. It's still super bright. Maybe if I put it somewhere like there. Nope. Well, the color is pretty horrible. So maybe take out a little bit of the red. That should dull it down a little bit. And I can put this down a little bit. Yeah, okay. So it's green now. Whatever. I don't even care. Hit UU and then you can see the curves as well. So depending on where you want it to change color, I'm going to put a color change over here. Just reset the entire thing and just make your new color. I'm going to brighten it up a little bit and then take out the red, put in some green contrast, and yeah, that's nice and blue. So no different colors here. You can of course make different colors by doing it something like this. The high blues will stay there, the low blues will become a different color, and there you can see that, well, actually it's not very visible, but you can actually make different colors. I'll try to add in some red, maybe that'll change that. Hang on. Yeah, these little arrows here, you can use those to be on the exact frame that you want to be. Green, blue, and red is completely out. So let's make it something like the other way around, something like this. Now the red is in the low colors, but not in the high colors. So you can see that if I tune it down a little bit, this one is blue and this one is pink, and well, you can make different colors like that by making a difference between the low colors and the high colors. But once again, if you're having trouble with the curves effect, understanding it that is, Not if you're having trouble like me finding good colors, because I did not explain that, because that is really just experience, and even I lack the experience to do that in a decent amount of time. And unfortunately, oh, that's actually good. Huh. So apparently that's the one I was looking for. Now you have different colors in there and make it a little bit more interesting. So let's go to one of the intermediate points between the 0 and the 20 something. And I'm just going to reset here. Just reset immediately. Don't even worry about what was on the screen there, because it's an intermediate graph. It's very hard to edit because it has a lot of points to make sure that it all works the way it should. And yeah, don't try to edit that. Just reset the entire graph and just make something nice. So yeah, apparently we need 3 points nowadays to make interesting colors. Not so much nowadays, but yeah, okay. Let's put in some blue or take out some blue. Let's see what that looks like. Oh, that's actually pretty nice. Yeah, I like that. So next we are going to make a point here. Once again, just reset. Just go to red. I'll show you with the next one what it actually looks like, the graph, and why you can't edit it. Because it's kind of bad of me to just assume that you, well, will trust me on that. So let's take out some of the blue, I guess. You can, by the way, also take, well, do something like this with the entire color, and then the color scheme changes as well, because now the darks get boosted and the lights get, well, taken down a little bit, which means that yeah, you will be able to scroll through your colors that you just made and making it a little bit more of a, well, control issue. There aren't a lot of high colors now, it seems, so let's see if we can make different colors still. Okay, okay, let's do it here. So currently this is the graph that's between these 2 points, and apparently it now looks like this, and the graph looks like this. So if I want to edit this with either the dots here or with the pen, you can see here how many points it needs to make this graph. So if I want to edit this, yeah, that would look terrible. I mean, everything that you can make out of this, well, sometimes you get nice colors, of course. This is actually a nice color, but yeah, you have to edit all of these. Whereas if you just reset it, you get the 0 points again, which is excellent. Actually, I might want to use a color like I had just there, but anyhow, there are many ways to tune the colors, of course, and you can pick whatever color, well, color method, I guess, you want. And I personally like the curves a lot. It's just that I'm not very good with them, because I don't really have the experience yet, but I will at some point. And I know that if I invest the time in just learning how these colors interact, that at some point I will be able to teach you exactly how to get a certain color. So maybe put in a little bit more red. Anyhow, let's assume that this is correct now. So we once again want to control click them just to get more fluent motions. And you can see here the colors are kind of dull. And yeah, you might want to change that. But overall, we get a similar effect to what I had. Also, the size changes, and well, everything just looks good. Let's hit 0 on our numpad here to load the effect. This is still the loading part. We'll start in a moment. Like right now, this is the actual effect. So it's a little bit fast. So you might want to slow it down. I'll show you in a moment how you do that. But overall, well, we created the kaleidoscope effect, and we have a lot of different colors. And some of them are actually good. So some of them are actually good colors. You can, of course, make the kaleidoscope effect with colored layers instead of gray layers. and that might actually make it a little bit easier for you to understand. But I prefer to make it like this because it's so much more flexible and you can really do with it whatever you want afterwards. And well, it's just that it takes some time to learn how to work with the curves. And as I said, I'm not a master at it myself, so I can't really explain anything else than just try it out and just try to make something that you like. So yeah, really just invest the time to learn how these effects work and to, well, just work with them in general. I want, okay, let's do something like that. Yeah, that's a better, it's a better color scheme than I had before, but yeah, well, it's all kind of crap, so whatever. You will have to do the colors by yourself and find that out. But I hope you understand the kaleidoscope effect at least. As I said, CC Kaleida, and it should be fairly easy. Anyway, hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time.